Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Allie and I love talking about slow, cozy living, faith, how we can live more intentional, Christ-centered lives, and lifestyle topics. Today, I want to chat about something that I've been thinking about lately, and I know it's something many of you can relate to, the corporate 9-to-5 grind. So many of us are out there working long hours, feeling exhausted, and barely having time for ourselves, our families, and most importantly, our relationship with God. We get caught up in this cycle of always on the go, but what if there's another way? What if we could break free and live a life that aligns with our faith, our values, and our desire for a slower, more meaningful pace? In 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12, the Apostle Paul says, "Make it your ambition to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders and so that you will not be dependent on anybody." As Christians, we are encouraged to live a peaceful life, free of conflict and hostility towards others, dependent on our own skills, that allows us to have what we need, to be industrious, and live a life that is an example to both Christians and non-Christians. Slow living is also peaceful living, as I believe we were meant to be, rather than what the world thinks we should have. So if you're feeling drawn in this type of direction as I was, I'm going to share some alternatives for Christian women who are looking to escape the 9-to-5, embracing slow living while still being able to provide for their families. Before we get into the alternatives, let's talk about why slow living is so important, especially for us Christian women. When you think about it, the way the world operates is completely at odds with what we're called to as followers of Christ. The hustle culture tells us to work harder, usually get a higher education, climb the corporate ladder, and find our worth in productivity and success. But the Bible calls us to something different. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." It's a call to slow down, to rest in Him, follow His plan for you, and to remember that our value doesn't come from our job titles or our bank accounts. And actually, when we constantly live in a state of busyness, it's so easy to lose sight of God and what truly matters. We all need money to survive, but the problem comes when we put that before God, and if we are only concerned with making more and never feeling satisfied, we'll miss out on the things that God has for us that could actually help us lead a fulfilling life and a happier one. So, what are the alternatives? How can we live a slower, more intentional life that reflects our faith and still provides for our needs? One of the most popular alternatives to the traditional 9-to-5 job is freelancing or becoming a virtual assistant. This is something I personally love, especially freelancing, because it's a flexible career choice for women who want more control over their time. Freelancing allows you to work from home, set your own hours, and even pick and choose the clients and projects that align with your values. There's lots of different types of freelancing depending on what you're skilled in or want to learn, from writing, graphic design, social media, to administration. There's a huge demand for freelancers in today's digital world. Plus, it's a great way to integrate slow living into your daily routine. You can take breaks when you need to, spend more time in prayer, take care of your family, and just take it easy a little bit more. It's a good option for those of us who want to escape the rush and still be financially independent. The second option is to start your own online business. This might sound a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's completely doable, and it doesn't really have to be stressful. Maybe you've always had a passion for creating something, whether that's handmade crafts or other physical products, writing ebooks, selling digital products, or even starting a blog where you can share your faith journey. With platforms like Etsy, Shopify, WordPress, and others, you can build something that's unique to you. The great thing about running your own business is that you're in control. You set the pace and you can grow it as slow or as fast as you want. It's a great way to create something meaningful that reflects your values and allows you to live a life that's aligned with your faith. I personally started my entrepreneurial journey this way, and while it does take time and effort, the freedom it gives is what I love most about this type of work. I can set my own hours, prioritize time with God, and still make an income from my home. This next option might not be for everyone, but I've seen a lot of Christian women find fulfillment in homesteading or small-scale farming. This is especially appealing if you've always loved the idea of living off the land, growing your own food, and becoming more self-sufficient. During the American Revolution, 95% of the U.S. did their own farming. Today, it's only 2%. I think farming and homesteading is a skill that shouldn't be lost, even if you don't do it for profit and just want to have your own land and homegrown food for yourself. If you do want to profit from it, then you'll have a source of income plus your own land to live off of. There's so many ways to make money from a homestead, like selling jams, firewood, mushrooms, baked goods, or you could set up an Airbnb and guide tour groups, and a lot more. If you're interested, I can make a separate video all about homesteading and ways to make money from it. But essentially, homesteading is all about getting back to the basics, living simply, caring for your family, being good stewards of the earth, and living a slower, more down-to-earth traditional lifestyle. You actually don't even need a ton of land to get started either. Even a small garden can be a step toward a more sustainable, slower way of life, which could even be just a quarter of an acre. It all depends on how much space you want and what you want to do with your land. And the best part, in my opinion, is connecting with God's creations. Being outside in nature feels more natural and closer to God because He created it. It's also just really comforting to hear the birds and see squirrels jumping around. I just think it's the best. It's also been shown that gardening can improve your mood, reduce stress and anxiety, and help you sleep better. There's something about messing around in the soil, being around plants, and just getting some fresh air. And having a cozy home with land, to me, is priceless. But there's something so peaceful and spiritual about working with your hands also, tending to a garden or caring for animals. And I'm always fascinated that you can plant seeds, water it, and tend to it, and it just grows to give us food, or herbs for medicinal purposes, or other things we can make and use. It shows how God provides for us and the beauty of His creations. Another option that might be perfect for you is stepping into part-time ministry or faith-based coaching. If you have a passion for helping others grow in their faith, this could be a fulfilling way to transition out of the corporate world and into something that's more aligned with your spiritual calling. This could be leading women's Bible studies, offering Christian life coaching, or even starting a podcast or YouTube channel where you encourage and uplift other women in their walk with God. It's a way to use your gifts and passions to serve others, and it allows you to make an impact without the pressures of a 9-to-5 job. I know that for some of you, the idea of leaving your corporate job feels scary or impossible right now. You have bills to pay, or you feel uncertain about what the future holds. It's a big step of faith, but remember, God's timing is perfect. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." If God is placing a desire on your heart to slow down, to step away from the corporate world, and to pursue something that's more aligned with His will for your life, pray on it and trust that He will provide a way if this is a path that is meant for you. It might not happen overnight, but with prayer, patience, and trust, you'll know and be led to the path that's right for you. So there you have it. Several alternatives for Christian women who are ready to escape the 9-to-5 and embrace slow living. Whether it's freelancing, starting a business, homesteading, or ministry, there are so many ways to live a life that reflects your faith and values without being trapped in the corporate grind. I hope this video has inspired you to take a step back and consider what your next move might be. Remember, slow living isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing what matters most, and that always starts with seeking God's will for your life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and let me know in the comments which alternative speaks to you the most. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.